Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and berries, it's me, Bradley G at Synergy Cafe, Magic Brad, also known as, and a legend in my own mind. And today I've got a friend that I just found on the internet. He's involved with investing in real estate, and we're going to learn more about him. His name is Quinn McArthur. I love that name already. So here's what we're going to be talking about. That's what it is, how to invest. His name is Quinn. He's in the green room right now enjoying some of our digital hors d'oeuvres. So if I can pull him away from that feed plate, go get Quinn. Quinn, are you around? Quinn, good morning.
Good morning. How are you, sir? How's it going?
I am wonderful, but you already knew that, and I'm biased. So you're over in Florida, I think you said.
Yes, my family and I live towards the beaches, little nice suburb town of Jacksonville Beach.
I was in Jacksonville. A friend of mine was going out there to go to pilot school. He wanted to go out there, but he never ended up being a pilot. But,
Oh, he
that's a
came to
nice
the
place out
beaches and he just started enjoying the beach too much.
there.
That's what
That's what
happened.
happened. He kind of got off rail because of the nice
That's all
beaches.
right.
So
That's all
how
right.
long have you lived in that area?
Oh, we just moved here actually last summer. Been in Florida the past 10 years or so, but
All
kind of
right.
been bouncing around and we're settled here though. We're closer to family and we love the beach area, so we
Yeah,
love
I
it
hear
here.
you got to kind of pack your lunch when you want to go from the south to the north because it's slow moving.
It is. It is. They say the further north you go in Florida, tends to feel and look and feel a little more like south. And I'm originally from Atlanta with my family, and we have
Okay.
some family in southern Georgia, so it feels like home. And it's kind of best of both worlds. They got the beach environment, coastal environment, and then the southern culture. So we love it.
Well, I'm up here in the Northland in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and we've had mild winters so far. We haven't had the snow like we usually get in Minnesota, so it's been kind of nice.
Nice.
So you got two websites, and I grabbed this one because this is the one you had in our little description. Is that the right place to find you?
Yeah, that's perfect. Legacylandfund.com is the way to go.
Well, that's easy to remember. Legacy Land Fund. Now, we were talking about investing in general, and my background's been in the event industry all my life, and I'm working my way to get out of it. But when the COVID thing happened, immediately I thought, events, they're gone around the world. How's
Mhm.
that going to happen? So I thought maybe real estate is the place to go because you got to have a roof over your head. It's kind of like a guarantee. And I've got some of my money saved up in REITs,
Mhm.
real estate investment trusts. Is that the kind of thing that you do with your investment strategies?
Well, not really. No, we do private placement deals. And so I feel like your story of coming from the event space and coming into real estate and looking for alternative investments is pretty common. People get into these industries, they go down these rabbit holes, these investment strategies, or with their jobs, their W-2 jobs, and they kind of feel a little stuck, or maybe the industry changes, the environment changes, the COVID
Mhm.
effect happens too. Like, what else is out there? And so no, we don't do REITs. I don't invest on the public markets at all. No traditional investments. It's all private real estate deals. I prefer investment opportunities where I can have a little bit of control. There's a lot of transparency. There's a lot of alignment between partners, and that's the
Yeah.
way I can kind of protect, my family's wealth, and that's the way we can kind of grow our wealth and create income streams. It's with that,
It's
that
definitely the place
transparency
to
that's
do
why
it.
that's why I love real estate.
They say
I'm
that the
sorry?
most of the millionaires happen because they involve like Robert Kiyosaki and Grant Cardone, and these people get into the real estate world. It makes sense to me, but I don't understand all the little percentages with the mortgage rates and all that stuff. That's why I just put it into REITs when I was doing my event
Mm,
business, and that way it's kind of I don't have to touch it. But
yeah.
if you do know it, then you know what to tweak and what to adjust. But if you don't, like I remember a woman, she was bragging about a house she bought, and then a little bit later she found out all the boilers for heating went to hell, and now she lost all of her investment property because she didn't have that stuff inspected properly. Right?
Mm.
You got to watch that stuff.
Yeah, I think it was Warren Buffett who said something like, don't invest in any company or any business that you don't understand." I think there's
Right?
a lot of, it's simple, but there's a lot of wisdom in that. And so for me, I'm a simple guy. Like, I like to know exactly what I'm investing. Let me see it. Let me go visit it. Let me talk to the actual managers who are, employing these strategies, this business model. And so that's just me. I just like to be able to, I like the tangibility of it and then just the predictability of it. And things can happen and there's execution risk, but when you know what you're doing, you've done it a few times and you know, and not to mention that the impact of the actual investment. I mean, for investing in something, I mean, I know exactly the impact of what's happening in that community and to the neighbors, as opposed to
Right.
somebody who
There's
might.
sort of a formula to it, certain percentages and what is it, that law of 72 or whatever it is? I don't even understand that. But there's
Well,
certain
yeah, and
formulas.
it's unfortunate because sometimes your financial advisors out there, sometimes they understand private placement opportunities, and sometimes they even if they understand it, they can't talk about it, legally.
Right.
And so it's kind of a lesser known kind of niche, this world of alternative investments, but that's where I've found myself and found, good success, and that's where I'll stay.
How long you been doing the real estate stuff?
Ever since I got out of the Army in
Oh,
2017.
okay, so you kind of know the combinations of the lock.
Yeah, well, you could say that. Yeah, I had some family members in real estate, and I saw the opportunities, and had some friends investing locally in Florida, and so for lack of better options, my uh, getting out of the Army, real estate was a natural choice, and
Mhm.
really haven't turned back.
Now, your website to get a hold of you, this Legacy Land Fund, what's it got to do with the land? Are you talking about investing in like dirt?
Yeah, it's in fact we are. And going back to kind of the
Okay.
simplicity of everything. So what Legacy Land Fund is an investment vehicle where it's really we're inviting accredited investors to invest alongside my personal investments, mine, my partner Eric's. And what we're doing is the land itself is the collateral. So we're buying mortgage notes, we're investing in mortgage notes, and the collateral is the vacant land. And so um, it's real estate related. It's not, we're not renting we don't own a property where we're managing tenants. There's no maintenance. There's no, very little insurance. I mean, when people talk about high interest rates and high insurance rates and problems with tenants, we don't have any of those.
Got it.
And for me, the strategy of investing in mortgage notes, specifically with vacant land, because there is no improvements on it, is great for someone like me who wants to spend most of my time with my wife and my young kids and hanging out at the beach and supporting my church and giving back to my community in different ways. So that's my focus. Real estate to me is simply a vehicle to do, to have more impact in my personal life. I'm not in love with the real estate. I'm not really emotionally tied to it at all. It's simply a way to do everything I just mentioned.
Well, it's kind of interesting because I've got this project in my head that I want to do in my local community here, and 'cause what's happening here in my little city is the condos are popping up all over the place, so there's nothing to do but plenty of places to live. And I would like to maybe buy some land so they can't do that, and I would develop my own thing there. And maybe I got this idea to do a private club, coffee shop, co-working, collaborative space, private.
That's cool. No, I like the co-working model. There's so many different spin-offs of that particular strategy, and it really is tailored to like what you are trying to accomplish and what your community wants and needs.
Well,
Maybe it
the way
has more of an
that I want
event
to do this is,
flavor.
I'm talking about myself a little bit, but
Yeah, no,
um, the I don't want to make a co-working space where two people are working on two different separate projects. I want to do a collaboration space where they're working on the same project, and then
I
it's
see.
community based, and then so that they can be a sort of co-op they're invested
I
in.
see.
So, but
Well, and that's yeah, and I think that's there's models like that out there, and I think it really just goes, like I said, it goes back to really what you're trying to accomplish and what the community needs and wants. I mean,
Mhm.
um, but yeah, I love that.
Do you go outside of Florida, or where do you go with this? Your business is it everywhere?
Well, the beauty of Legacy Land Fund and what we do in my general business strategy is that I can do it anywhere. I can do it from the comfort of my home. I don't
Okay.
actually have to visit the properties to be there or to invest. Sometimes I do things locally, and I do generally like the Southeast for its its job growth, its population growth, and its generally the trends lend itself well to successful investing. But our particular strategy, to answer your question, no, it's all over the country. We can do this in any
Okay.
state. There's some states that are more, compliant than others.
So me being not knowledgeable of all the stuff that happens, you could actually help me with my little Fridley, Minnesota project here.
Well, I'd love to. Let's talk more. My background in real estate prior to doing this fund is in the development space. And so ground up developments, mixed use, pretty complicated projects in and through Central Florida. So all different kinds of projects. It's really just, it comes down to what, again, what are your goals and what are you trying to achieve? But if you kind of, you pour your heart into it and you kind of take all those into consideration and do it right and do it, wisely, I
So
think it could be a
what is
success.
the profile for your ideal customer or client then? Is it someone that's in real estate that understands real estate, or is it someone that just says, you know what, I'm sick and tired of this tech job, or I don't want to do this landscaping stuff anymore?
Our ideal client, our customer, is the accredited investor who wants exposure to the real estate world, but doesn't want to do it themselves. So they have some capital to deploy, and to get it working for them. They wanted a second stream of income, and they prefer something that's very passive. They don't have the time to do it themselves. So they want to leverage someone like me and my partners in my fund to do it for them, really. We don't erode the returns with a bunch of fees like you'll see some funds do and some traditional investments will do.
Right.
We offer a 10% return and we pay that monthly, which is very strong, especially given the fact that our investments are very safe. It's a very safe strategy. And
So
so
this,
it's folks who just want some, a second stream of income and want someone to kind of do it for them. Um, and it's a small operation. It's not like where it's a big institutional company. I know when some people hear a fund, they think it's, some big institution. It's really not. It's my partner Eric and I that have been doing this strategy for years. It's what's helped. This particular strategy is what helped me leave my W-2 job and support my family and be successful myself. So I'm simply creating a fund to allow other people to kind of enjoy the same thing. So I mean, the best way is just to kind of go to the website, poke around on there. They can they can email me directly at info@legacylandfund.com. I'll respond very quickly. We can jump on a call and I'm happy to talk through the strategy. But I think again, if people are looking for a steady 10% monthly distributions, in a very simple, safe strategy, I don't know of a better way.
so here's another question. This is pretty interesting to me. It's got my gears turning and all that stuff. Because there's the people that have a bunch of money and know that they can loan it to somebody and make more money. But then there's somebody that's got some money saved up and they just want to protect it a little bit and make it grow instead of having it sit in a bank account or a retirement account
Right.
trickling in. And I've got another friend that lives down. He lives here in Minneapolis area, and he's got 15. I can't remember a lot of acres down in Costa Rica, and
Cool.
we're going to build an event center there before COVID.
Mm.
And then the idea is to find people to invest in that. But that's probably out of your range when you're going down to Costa Rica because they got different rules down there.
My wife and I were just talking about going to Costa Rica for vacation, so maybe there's some alignment there. I do love that area, but yeah, no, those strategies are great, and I think if it's executed properly, like it could be a tremendous success. I think where if you're just an investor that and they're just trying to make a return, getting into things like that is like, I mean, it'll suck you in. I mean, it'll all your time and effort, and it could flop. It's just very risky
Right.
from a time and money standpoint. And if you want to do that and you have passion for it, more power to you. It's just not what we do currently.
Well,
My kind of general concept is to develop cash flow so that you can kind of live independently, live freely based on that cash flow. And then if and when those opportunities do come up, then it's like, okay, now I can do those with a little more, I don't know, you're not as stressed doing it because you're not
yeah.
dependent on it. And it's just more fun that way.
Well, I think that's what holds maybe somebody back. They've got some money saved up. They want to invest it, but they don't want to dump it into something they know nothing about.
Right.
And you like again, I said you would probably have the combination to open the lock because it's probably there's things on the internet I can do like that, but somebody else that doesn't know it, they have to
True.
learn and figure it out. How do you
True.
navigate through all this stuff?
Yeah. I mean, the
Probably
biggest,
know.
that's right. And the biggest thing, everybody talks about leverage in real estate, and what they're talking about is leveraging bank financing to leverage their projects. When I talk about leverage, it's really leveraging someone else's expertise. I
Right,
invest in things all the time that I am not an expert in,
right.
and so I'm vetting the deal. I'm vetting the opportunity, yes, for sure. But more so, I'm vetting who's responsible, like who is managing this deal, who's in charge of the execution. Do I trust them? Do I like them? And that is almost more important. And I'm leveraging their expertise. I'll never be as good as them at building whatever it is they're building, or at flipping this apartment complex, or whatever the strategy is, building an RV park. I'm just not going to build that team to do it. They have all that in place. I'm going to leverage that. But understanding who is the operator. In this case, my partner and I are the fund managers. So when you get to know me, if what I'm saying resonates and you get to know me, it's like, well, I'm the one implementing this strategy. Been doing it for years. So if that resonates, then I would encourage people to call me. But if that's not the strategy, find someone who is doing that strategy at a excellent level, and partner with them. You know,
Yeah, because there's all these people on the internet and they're showing you all these ways of doing this stuff, and they think you're just gonna, send them a Venmo with a deposit of, 5 grand or something, and that they're out of their minds.
you got to be careful. There's all kinds of scams out there, but there's also a lot of professionals who are legit. So
Well,
yeah,
that's
no,
why I
you
do this show so that someone
yeah.
like you has the guts to actually get on here and show your face because the scammers won't do that.
Mhm.
I got
Well,
another
yeah,
question.
yeah.
What's like the base amount of investment? How much does someone need to actually give it a shot?
Our minimum investment is $50,000.
Oh, now here I was thinking 100 plus, but that's nice to hear that.
Well, and we can be flexible. Again, it's Eric and I calling the shots on it, but that's what we prefer, is a minimum investment of $50,000.
Right.
And again, starting month one, you'll start receiving, whether you want a check or a wire or an ACH, you'll start receiving that 10% return into your bank account. And all the while you get access to me and Eric. You see the performance of the fund. You have access to an online, portal system where you can kind of see your balance, your capital balance. And we're just fully transparent. I mean, maybe even too much.
I,
But
I
we
like
feel that
it that it's just you and Eric instead of the company, and we got to go talk to the manager and the upper management,
no,
CEO, all stuff. So
no, we don't. It's a small team. Again, it's just really we were doing our personal investments. This is what we've been doing for years. So it's really simply inviting people into our world of note investing. So um,
what are some of the types of projects that you've done? Resorts or storage locker type things, or farms, or what kind of projects have you worked on for people?
well, my focus right now is the fund, and so it's not really project based. We're buying mortgage notes, so it's literally we have a first lien position on backed by vacant land. So that's just it. There's really no. It's not project based.
Oh,
We're pulling together a portfolio of these notes, and that's what the fund is all about. I do also invest in commercial real estate um, outside of the fund through my other entity, Apex Capital. Um, and our latest project is a ground up development. It's just south of Atlanta. We're building some out parcels. So meaning, building like a Starbucks is a build to suit for a Starbucks. It's a ground lease to a gas station. Um, and that's a typical deal. That's what's called just ground up, development. These happen to be out parcels. They're, kind of on a main highway there. They're, surrounded by some mixed use communities. And
okay.
so that's kind of my my growth side. So if I want to grow capital and I want to take a little bit more risk, that's what Apex Capital does.
Well, that makes that's refreshing as well to hear that, because sometimes people are just kind of doing this money game. Like there's a guy that's getting into doing Forex trading, and he's got some software he's trying to sell. And I've seen this stuff on there. It's like, what the heck? How do I know that it's going into Forex, and what foreign exchange am I? This I can kind of see how you got the money, then you got the,
yeah, that's right. And we drive to the project, we see the updates on it. I mean, we fly drones over it. And that's how, I mean, just like we started the call, it's like, I'm not investing in anything I can't see. I can't talk to the guy that's directly managing it. I don't know, maybe I'm just short-sighted, but that's just the way
if you do have a bridge for sale, I want to see it.
I'm sorry?
I said, if you do have a bridge for sale, I want to see it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you want to be able to see it and visit it. And some of the investors that jumped in with me on that deal, I mean, they literally drove out to the site and we're watching the progress together. So it's kind of fun. And so, yeah, Apex Capital builds things. We develop, things like that. And that's just one strategy. And then the other income side is the note funds. And so combining those two, I feel like, is a healthy, strategy to grow wealth.
So here's Apex Capital Real Estate and legacylandfund.com.
You got it.
Well, cool. Well, Quinn, we've gone for about 20 minutes. Is there anything else you might want to share? Do you have anything on your website? It's like a free guide to fill out and learn a little bit about it and get to know more about you and Eric?
I would recommend Eric's book, actually. It's called Lean Lord. Eric Sharaga wrote a fantastic
hold it up again
book.
so I can see it better.
Oh, yeah, sure. How's that?
Lean, okay, kind of like landlord.
Yep, landlord. It's a play off the play of words there. It's not landlord, it's lean lord. So like we talked about, a lot of people think they want to be real estate investors until they invest in real estate. They start owning property and having all kinds of problems. It's like, well, we don't particularly want that. We don't want that any one investment to take us away from our hobbies and our families. And so lean lord is it's a way that we're doing that. That's all this book is about, is kind of making the case for investing in mortgage notes. And that's what all the Legacy Land Fund does. And so if there's a resource, I think, Eric does a phenomenal job of kind of wave topping a variety of, opportunities that folks have to invest, and then makes the case for why, if your goal is, building a legacy, building a safe income stream, that mortgage notes is a great way. And it's not very common. Not many people are talking about it, but at the same time, it's not like some sleazy like niche that inaccessible niche that you can't get into. It is accessible. And so that's what we've created with the fund. So that's a great book. That's a great resource. I'd encourage anybody to check that out. And we'll send you a book. If you want to jump on that website, we'll hook you up.
Well, perfect. Well, Quinn, I'm going to put you in the green room. If you want to stick around, I'd like to have a little conversation with you, because you've kind of piqued my interest in some of this stuff. And
not a problem.
Then what will happen with this video is it goes up on YouTube, and then I put it on some blogs and propagate it out with the search engine words, the keywords that I've learned in speaking with you, and see if we can find some people who are interested in putting their money in a safe place.
Sounds good, Brad. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. There you have it, our friend, Quinn McArthur. This is kind of fascinating to me. It always gets my gears turning on stuff like this when I see things that are kind of, rather than going to your typical bank and say, I want to buy this thing and I need a loan. There's other ways of doing it. And the simplicity, like I don't even change my oil anymore because I'm afraid I'm going to break the little plug and have to redo it. So outsource it to somebody that's done it before and does it a lot and knows what they're doing. So that's my story, Morning Glory. I'm going to sign this off. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be good, be kind, be nice. Did I say be nice? Be nice.